What's up, everyone? I'm your spiritual gardener, here to plant seeds of consciousness in your garden. It's just your job to water them. And as of yesterday, September 9th, we officially have Mars retrograde. So not to add, to the whole list of other planets we have retrograde, except for Mercury and Venus, now we also have Mars retrograde. So this is really going to heat things up. And, we're really going to see the energy intensify extremely through to the end of the year, really through February. So this is something we really want to be aware of so that we can work through this energy. It's definitely not going to be easy. We've already seen tons of like riots and everything you can think of really this year. But with Mars going retrograde now, this is really going to intensify this. So if we think that the riots that we saw before were anything, it's about to get 10 times more intense. So, it's important to learn how to work with these energies so that we can work through them. There is always a positive aspect. Anytime we have planets that are making hard aspects to each other, they're just not easy to deal with. So, Mars represents our physical energy. It represents our sex drive. It represents aggression, our passions. So it's a planet that we don't really like to see, in bad aspect. And that is going to be the case here for quite some time. So, when Mars makes a square over to Saturn, which is what we have going on right now, and we've already had this intense energy in Capricorn with Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter making it amplified pretty much this entire year. But it's really, really getting down to the gritty right now. And, Saturn represents restrictions. And it's like that teacher that gets us through school. It's not fun. We have a lot of lessons to learn. But through the hard work, we get the good grade at the end of the day. Now, with Mars going retrograde, with Saturn, we can be very hard on ourselves. We can have extremely high standards and we can feel really driven to match those standards. But it's a time that things start to slow down in the realms of, our fighting spirit. And, we can easily become upset and expecting far too much of ourselves. So that's a big thing. And it can lead to self-doubt in our own powers and abilities. So, not feeling so great about what we're able to accomplish. And the thing here too is we've got Mars making aspects with the dark moon Lilith and Chiron. So this is bringing out a lot of woundedness on top of that. Like I said in my last video, it's like the wounded, it's like a wounded warrior. Someone in the war that literally has to fight through with a broken leg. And it's not easy. Nobody wants to be in that situation. So, this is really going to be a time to humble ourselves and to learn how to work with this energy, because it's not going to be easy. And like I said, we can be extremely hard on ourselves if we're not getting things accomplished. But this is a time when things are going to slow down a bit for us. We can feel a lot of resistance when we are trying to really apply ourselves and be assertive, and it can almost feel like nothing's going our way. It brings out a lot of frustrations, and anger is a big key word for Mars as well. And, there's no coincidence also that all of these fires are going on right when Mars was stationary, ready to go retrograde. Mars represents fire. And, we've already got Uranus retrograde, which also represents natural disasters. So having those two combined right now is not, it's not something that we like to see. So, like I said, there's no coincidence that we have all these fires going on right now. Natural disasters at that. And when we work with others during this type of energy with Mars retrograde, we can get really frustrated. It's best to do things on our own. It's like, if you normally rely on someone else to do something for you, or if you're hoping that your colleagues or anybody else is going to do the job for you, no. You're going to want to take the initiative yourself, because it's more than likely going to be able to get through if you're doing it on your own rather than relying on other people. So that's a big thing too. Taking the initiative on your own and not relying on other people to do it for you. And you know, like I said, with the dark moon and Chiron here as well, it can make us very fearful. So there's a big, you know, I'm sure we can all feel this energy. It's, you know, it's kind of undeniable right now. You know, the fear that we all feel. And, you know, it's just not happy. You know, Mars in a negative aspect like this is just not a happy warrior. So our fighting spirit is going to be at an all-time low for the time being. So we really want to try to work through this energy and focus on the positive aspects of it, which I will get to. But, you know, the energy, it's going to make us have to work a lot harder for what we want. And, you know, anything that we're desiring at this time, you're going to feel like you're putting in a lot of work to get there. It's not saying that it's not possible, but, you know, just be aware that a lot of things won't go as planned when it comes to fulfilling any new projects and such. You know, sometimes we can even work too hard when Mars goes retrograde and not see any gains from it. So that's also a big aspect. So you do want to prioritize your needs and really focus on what you need to get done and not try to, you know, do a million things at once. Focusing on one thing, staying in one lane is really important right now. You know, new projects are definitely not ideal. So starting anything new, don't get frustrated if it's not going to take off. You know, if you've already started a new project, which tends to be ironic because we get in that zone where we want to start new things because it can bring up, you know, initiative and a little bit of drive in us, but it slows down projects. So starting anything new is not ideal. You know, and if the one thing, the big thing here is not working on our physical bodies will really intensify this Mars energy. So the only new thing that you need to be starting, to be honest with you, is like a workout plan. So if you're not working out, that's really the only new project you want to be taking on right now. You know, working out is that Mars energy. It's that warrior spirit, and that's going to be the way to get the aggression out, because we're going to be all types of, it's like a tea kettle just ready to burst. So we really want to reassess everything before we make choices. You know, we can be, excuse me, very just blunt and kind of quick to react with things. So we want to kind of keep that in check, because that's going to be a big thing that we want to watch out for. You know, we can even you know, it does bring out, like I said, more of a drive. We do have more of a drive when it does go retrograde, but, you know, you don't want to be an overachiever at this time. So like I said, take things one thing at a time. Don't try to put too much on your plate, because you don't want to set yourself up for disaster. Now, the other aspect we have here is we have Mars making a square over to Pluto. And Pluto represents death and rebirth to things. And the three big malefic planets are Mars, Pluto, and Saturn. So these three coming together is not the best energy that we want to see or feel. And, you know, when Mars squares Pluto, it can bring out a lot of obsessive energy, especially when it comes to our passion and our drive. And, you know, it can also even intensify our aggressions. So that's another thing to be on the lookout for. Our aggressions, if you've been feeling a little off or a little overly aggressive and just frustrated at that, it's this energy that's going on right now. You're not alone. This is a collective energy that we're all feeling. You know, if you have placements in Aries, or if you have placements in Capricorn, you're definitely feeling this intensified times 10. So I feel you on that one. I have Capricorn placements. But, you know, it does, like I said, it brings out even more aggression, and it can make us really unhappy if we have to accept new conditions. So if new things come about, we're not really for it. It's, you know, it kind of brings out that aggression in us. Like, we don't want things to change. And as you can see, we've had a lot of things changing lately. Now, another thing is this energy can bring out extreme behavior, which makes us fall victim into crisis situations. So victim mentality is huge right now, especially because Mars, like I said, is being afflicted with Dark Moon, Lilith, and Chiron, which Chiron is the wounded healer, and Dark Moon brings out a lot of our old traumas and such. So this energy is very, very amplified. you know, this is really the big energy that astrologers have been talking about since, I mean years for a lot of astrologers, but if you've been following any specific astrologers, you've probably been hearing about this since January. I've definitely been mentioning it in my reads, but the time has come. You know, we have a lot of deep, intense desires because Pluto represents a lot of our deep wanted desires. It's ruled by Scorpio. So when we've got Mars making a hard aspect here, you know, if our desires aren't met, that's when we can have a lot of aggression. So we want to be aware that not everything's going to be going our way at this time. So be prepared for that and keep yourself in check. Keep yourself in check and don't let yourself just fly off the handle and get too aggressive and angry over things right now, because that's definitely going to be the theme. You know, there's a strong desire to be in control as well, especially being in Aries, because it is ruled by Aries, Mars. And, you know, Aries can be a little, you know, they're cardinal signs. So they like to get stuff going. It's what starts our year. We need that type of energy to get the whole year started. But if we are not really seeing things go our way, then that's when we're kind of, you know, not in that great of a headspace. But like I said, there's a strong desire to be in control, and it can lead us to having risky behavior. And this can be risky sexual behavior. This can be risky behavior when it comes to just aggressiveness in general. So you want to be careful, because it's dangerous energy. It really is. And if we're able to analyze every situation before we just react to it, this is going to teach us humbleness and patience. And at that time, you've mastered this type of energy. And that's when you can literally see some of your wildest dreams come true. Very far-fetched things that people don't consider, you know, you wouldn't consider can even happen. They are likely to happen. But I mean, the patience and ability to have the patience right now is extremely needed. And that's the hard part, is because the planets affecting this Mars energy are not trying to make it easy. You know, tolerating any dominating figures, anybody that has authority, it's going to be pretty difficult right now. And, you know, there's a big need for wanting fairness. So this is also another clash when we have Pluto and Mars making a square. And, you know, this is going to come out collectively as well. So I think we kind of already know that things have not been feeling too fair for quite some time. And, like I said, this energy is going to be amplified. And if people aren't able to own into this energy and, you know, and just kind of calm down and analyze situations before reacting, that's when we're going to see a lot of chaos, okay? We are going to see a lot of chaos at this time. And this energy, you know, I'm not going to lie to you guys, this is the energy that is focused on war. And this is a war within ourselves. This is a war far distance. This is also civil war type of energy. So all of these things are very, very prominent, and we will be feeling this, like I said, through February. It will switch signs, and it'll be a little bit of different energy, but the energy is still going to be there through this whole end of this year. So, you know, I don't want to say it like this, but the beginning of 2020 has kind of been a joyride up until this point. This is when we are really going to be tested. And, you know, it does, like I said, authority figures. And what are we dealing with right now? You know what I mean? It's all of these higher up people that we're not so happy with. And there's not that fairness balance. And people aren't going to be able to tolerate it anymore. They're really not. And so this is when, you know, we do want to try to keep ourselves in check. But as a collective, we're going to see this all over. We're going to see this energy very prominent. The other thing too is, you know, since Mars does rule sex and it rules our passions and such, this can bring out almost like obsessive, kind of almost like stalker-like energy when it comes to sex. You know, it can give us, like I said, just a very obsessed attitude with sex and not getting what we want type of things. And you know, this can give us like an all or nothing attitude. So, you know, you want to keep that in check with your relationships, keep the communication well, because we still have that harmonious aspect with Venus and Mercury right now. So, I mean, that's a great thing, but the planets move so quick. We are going to be shifting into different energy. But, you know, talk with your partner now, figure out what you need to where this isn't going to be something that boils over later, because that's not going to be fun for any relationship. Another thing too is relationship issues, especially focused around like traumas and fears of like abandonment, are really big when Mars is squaring Pluto. So if we have any old abandonment issues and stuff like that, we will feel these type of energies start to resurface. So, you know, this is a time that we just want to kind of analyze these situations, you know, write stuff out, write it out. Don't, you know, go into full warrior mode, because this is not the time. It's just not gonna play out good. Another thing too is we do have the ability right now for self-confidence, but the thing is we do have to practice self-control. So that's kind of like the gift that we're given, is we can have much self-confidence through this, but not if we're not focusing on the self-control. So if we are just letting our anger and everything get the best of us, then we're not going to see the positive aspects of this energy. And I mean, it's a small reach for the positive here with the energy that we've got going on, but there still is a slight silver lining that we can try to obtain. So, you know, if you need to talk to a counselor, a therapist, friends, a forum, writing it down, journaling, whatever you need to do, get it out, but don't get it out to where you're in jail the next day. You know what I mean? So, you know, this is something we really want to practice self-control with, and that's going to be the most important thing right now. The other thing too is we do have Jupiter. Jupiter is going to be afflicted by Mars as well, but Jupiter is still doing its retrograde, so it's not quite there yet to where it's making a square with Mars. But Jupiter goes back direct on September 13th, September 12th. So this is a good thing. It's good to have Jupiter direct, because that's our abundance, that's our good luck. But in the sign of Capricorn, it's at its worst position. So, like I said, it's just not the most joyful period. But the good thing, you know, we do have Jupiter going back direct, and it will be making some positive aspects. I'm gonna make a whole different video for Jupiter this weekend. But know that is coming, but know also that when Jupiter decides to square Mars, which will be coming up as well, that amplifies it, okay? So Mars representing aggression, Jupiter is the amplifier. It does bring good luck, but when you're amplifying aggression, it's even bigger, okay? And you know, so this is definitely by far going to be some of the hardest energy we've ever dealt with collectively. And so I really want to put that warning out there. You know, I do like to try to give, you know, the positive aspects of everything in astrology that I can. This energy right now is not really giving me much breathing room to do that, because this is a big test right now. And it's a collective test. It's a test within ourselves, and it's not going to be easy. So, like I said, working out is going to be your key thing. Work out and journal. If you can do those two things, this Mars retrograde period is going to be a lot easier for you. But I'm telling you right now, just expect to see a lot of things in the collective start to boil over. You know, people have been fed up for so long, and we get that. But when Mars goes retrograde, it's not even a joke anymore. We don't stand for injustice, and it's time for answers. And if we don't get them, we will act out of aggression. So try really hard, you guys, to just focus your energy on a workout plan, okay? That's going to be my best advice for you right now. Work out. Get the aggression out through working out your body. It's mind, body, soul. Okay, you've got to give attention to all three of those. So the only new project you should be starting right now is a workout plan. So do that. Do yourself a favor. Get yourself some of that aggression out in a workout manner instead of lashing out on other people, because you know, we don't want to hurt people around us, and that can be the case right now. I do want to do a quick card pull for the collective energy to see how we can really try to focus on this and work it with its positive aspects, even though, like I said, it's kind of hard right now because this is not positive energy. But I want to see how we can focus on this energy as a collective and really move forward without hurting ourselves or others on any level, and collectively bring some harmony through this, even though we are going to be going through some hard trials through this energy. All right, we've got Cancer. All right, and Cancer, like you see, rules the mother there. Cancer rules the moon. It's about our emotions. Cancer is all about emotions and our home life. Okay. All right, and in the 12th house. Okay. And I have Cancer in my 12th house. Okay, so this is really focusing on, you know, the positive aspects. The 12th house is the most spiritual house in the zodiac. So it's ruled by Pisces. And the 12th house is, you know, a lot of self-undoing. And that's another thing going on right now. Today and tomorrow we have Neptune making a 180-degree aspect to the sun. And that can bring out a lot of old addictions. It can bring out a lot of old, you know, stuff that we're not really proud of, like past situations. So this is really telling us to, you know, we need to mother ourselves in that aspect of, you know, spirituality in general, but in just working on things that are going to help us not react in the same type of ways that we have been doing. So this is all about self-undoing. So, you know, the 12th house here. So focusing on what we can do to change the way we've done things for so many years and do it in a new way, and really focusing on this Cancer energy. This Cancer is a very loving sign. It's the motherly sign. So this is telling me that we need to mother not only our spirituality, but ourselves in general, because we're going to be put to the test right now. So we have to focus on helping ourselves, and anything that doesn't serve us anymore needs to be gone. If it's something you already know angers you or that you have a hard time dealing with, it's time to let it go, because this can be a very harmonious aspect if we can really just own into it. So we do not want to focus on that aggression, okay? We want to try to keep it positive. I know it's going to be rough. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's going to be rough. But we can do it. We can do it. We can do anything, okay? So some people are born with crazy aspects in their whole entire astrology chart, but they make the best of them. So it's hard energy to work through, but there are positive aspects if we can avoid these negative ones. Okay, so I love you guys. I'm praying for everybody right now, the world at large, everything going on. And I will have a video up about Jupiter this weekend, because that's a whole other topic to go on. So I love you guys. Take care. Take time to recharge. And don't be so hard on yourself right now.